let's look at how they got back in Lost with the help of Eloise Hawking, a possible Easter egg.
Sorry, but you have a bit of a journey ahead of you.
Welcome to another edition from Lost Episode 2. And in this edition, we have to go back to From. So From Lost is once again a series where I look back to the ancestors of From, which is Lost, for comparison and similarities and possible answers going into From season 3, which just got renewed. So applause for that. Today's main topic of discussion is Tabitha and how she will get back to From. So we're looking at the end of season 2. Tabitha seems to be, I believe, back in the real world without her family, may I add. So you know what that means.
We have to go back.
That's right, Jack. We have to go back. So how are we going to go back? Let's make a comparison to From's ancestor Lost here, as we also have a similar situation. Let's break down the similarities here. All right, so let's break this down here. Escaping from and escaping the island. Let's go to Lost here. So we know that the 6 that got off the island, I believe it was season 4, season 5, they became to be known as the Oceanic 6, who escaped from the freighter, of course, that blew up. And ultimately, they live life off the island, leaving the rest of the island survivors behind to deal with, at this point, the island is being moved. There's time travel going on. Episode 5 was probably the worst season of Lost that I know, because that was the time travel season. But for the purposes of this episode and the character of Tabitha, one of the survivors, Sun Quan, we're gonna focus on her. And you see how easy that was pronounced? Sun Quan, Kenny's mom. Come on, let's give Kenny's mom a easy pronouncing name. I still don't know her name. But anyway, Sun's main purpose for getting back to the island was to reunite with her family as well. In this case, her husband, Jin. Likewise, Tabitha's motivation for returning to Fromland, assuming she's back in the real world, would be to reunite with Jim and her family. So with that being said, we know that Tabitha is going to want to get back to her family. So the question is how, and this is what we're left wondering at the end of From season 2, but I have a feeling it won't be that easy, of course. So let's look at how they got back in Lost with the help of Eloise Hawking, of course, a possible Easter egg, I think, as is a growing theory in the From community that Eloise, Victor's sister, could escape Fromland and will help Tabitha get back to her family.
There's a commercial airliner flying from LA to Guam that's going to go right through our window. TheJHReview Airways, flight 316.
So I was writing that down today and I was like, dang, there's an Eloise in Lost and there's Eloise in From. I don't think there's a coincidence. Y'all tell me what y'all think. So in Lost, Eloise, who is also once a part of the others on the island, tells them how to get back, the exact flight, the exact time to get back on the island. So bringing it back to Tabitha. I believe Eloise and her will try to get back to From, but in similar circumstances, such as in Lost, getting back to the exact point in time may not be that easy. I don't think it's just going to be, let's drive down and see what happens, But back to Lost. When the Oceanic 6 did go to that, I guess you could say that pocket or whatever they had to go through, half of them split into some point in the future and half of them split to some point in the past, with the survivors who are currently stuck in the period of time before the incident and the Dharma Initiative was still in operation. Since we're focusing on Sun, Jen is currently in the past at this point, and Sun wants to get back, but she's thrusted into the future at this point. And there was also a scene in there, believe in season 6, where she's going back to the Dharma barracks, which is pretty run down at this point, but she sees a picture there that the Dharma Initiative took, and in this picture was Jen.
I'm sorry, but you have a bit of a journey ahead of you.
With that being said, I can possibly see the writers going down this whole time travel, alternate timeline rabbit hole. Hopefully they don't write themselves, into a corner here. So we've already seen elements of this, such as when Jim and Tabitha found that bracelet and basically how it got there. And this is where that whole loop theory comes into play. And even you can say Lost had a loop theory, but in Lost, it was whatever happened, if y'all remember that little quote or whatever. So let's go back to the end of season 5 here. We know at the end of season 5, there was a nuke down at the, which would be called later the hatch or whatever. And of course, I can't remember her name. Your girl exploded it, right? Which caused all this to happen in the first place. So, the incident caused the hatch to be built, which, the guy didn't push the button, and then that caused them, for their plane to crash. So all this happened because they went back in time. Whatever happened. Did this happen because they go back? Did this always happen, basically? So we have the loop theory going on in Lost, sort of. But anyway, after she explodes this, the bomb or whatever, they all end up converging back into the right timeline. Sun and Jen reunite, probably one of the best scenes in Lost, might I add. But because from, is it 20-ish episodes, I don't think Tabitha is going to go through all that trial and tribulation. It took like 2 or 3 seasons for Jen and Sun to reunite. I don't think we're going to have to go through all that. But what I'm saying is that if she is back in the real world, and getting back to Fromland won't be that simple as driving down the roads.
Sorry, but you have a bit of a journey ahead of you.
So those are my comparisons and similarities of, the situation I find Tabitha in and the situation that Sun was in Lost. So hopefully that makes sense to y'all. But I think that's all I have for today. If y'all enjoyed this, I guess you could say theory, comparison, or whatnot, and tell me what y'all think of the little potential Easter egg, as far as the Eloise Hawking and Victor's sister, whose name is Eloise as well. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap that like button. And I will see y'all for the next video, which will be the From Season 1 rewatch. I'm getting ready to do the rewatch, so that's going to be the next video. I want to see y'all there. Slap that like button, and I will see y'all next time. Peace out, y'all.